What's up guys, Jesse here, doing a video in the great outdoors today because it is like 60 degrees out here. It's freaking awesome. And it's January, or I'm sorry, I take that back, it's now February. We're 1 month into the year 2020. And sorry if my camera jiggles because my dog's probably going to hit it multiple times in an attempt to try to get me to throw him the ball. I wanted to make a video today about the 5 steps that it takes to gain control over any situation in your life. I did get this kind of an overview idea from Tony Robbins, but I want to share with you kind of his way of doing it and also my kind of way that I've adapted. Sorry, dropped something. So yes, the 5 steps are feeding your mind, feeding your body, finding a role model, making a plan, and feeding and strengthening your spirit. Okay, so what do all of those mean? For Tony, feeding your mind is doing an hour every day of something that feeds your mind, i.e. reading a book, and one of the ones that he suggested, and it's one that I definitely used when I started off, was Viktor Frankl, As a Man Thinketh. It's about a 35 minute read, and you can read it every day. And it is actually very profound, and what's even more profound is how old it is and how pertinent it still is. The way that I kind of adapted that for myself was I kind of combined the feed your mind and feed your body. 1 second. And in this sort of thinking, I found a diet that actually makes you smarter. So I started to eat foods specifically based on not only like my performance, my bodily performance, my energy performance, but like how is it making my mind perform. I started looking for ways in order to hack my own energy, in order to be able to get a lot more done with my day, because I would pretty much be finished every day around 1 o'clock. Like I would just be mentally shut down and over it. And so yeah, I found various diets, started with keto, went into, well, I started with a more testosterone boosting diet, and then that had lots of things in it, which still included sugar, and I wanted to figure out ways to cut sugar out of my life, which led me into keto, and going into keto led me into Bulletproof, and then Bulletproof led me into like learning about mitochondrial maximization and like where does energy come from, and like that led me into intermittent fasting, and all of these things kind of helped me develop my own style of diet and eating. So yeah, that's the mind and the body. And I also, when I think of feeding your body, I think of movement. So feed your mind, feed your body is number 2. Not only do you need the proper nutrients, but none of these things really, it's not like they don't do anything, but like the exponential growth that you will experience if you move your body in conjunction with eating a really set diet around it. 1 second. it's incredible. So feed your mind, feed your body, move your body, and find movements that work for you. For me, that was going to the gym, going to yoga, riding my bike. Thirdly is find a role model, and I actually found like a whole bunch of role models. One of them being Tony, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Tim Ferriss, Dave Asprey, James Altucher, if that's how you say his last name. I always mess up the pronunciation of that. He wrote this great book, Choose Yourself. I just have like a whole bunch of role models. Russell Brunson for business. Yeah, so anyway, find some role models and then begin to model them, and like listen to what they went through and what happened to them, and like how they kept pursuing their goals. And number 4 is get a plan, and either use a plan from one of your role models, which you know, okay, this is an effective plan, like this person went from here to up here, or develop your own. And the way that I do that is actually a combination of how I've talked about this before, of how Tony Robbins does it and how Tim Ferriss does it, where you kind of make a list of like all the places you want to go. This, like, do it for the year. This is who I want to be this year. This is what I want to get done this year. This is the business that I want to own or run, or where I want to work, or what I want to be at my job. This is, you know, the car I want to drive, the clothes I want to wear, and like make the list very ridiculous. Like, you know, I want to make $20 million this year. I want to go to every exotic place that I can think of. And what's cool is when you start doing this, you will actually find out what is really important to you and what kind of is a side note. And I'm going to go more in depth into all of these topics later on this week, but just as a brief overview. And finally, number 5 is feed and strengthen your spirit. And for me, that means practicing a loving kindness meditation, which is not overly complicated, doesn't take a super long amount of time, but yes, those are the 5 steps of turning any situation in your life around. And like, to give you any sort of background about myself, I have been through a tremendous amount in my life, and I have repeatedly found myself in a bottom zone when I spent so much time, effort, and energy trying to be in an upper top zone. And these things crucially helped me turn it around. So to recap, feed your mind, feed and move your body, find a role model, get a plan, feed and strengthen your spirit. Once again, my name is Jesse Stockton, and as I always say, I am here to help, and I hope that this helped. And if you would, please give me a like or a subscribe. And as I always say, this is not for some ego reason. It is just for me to create content to help other people.